Hey kids, time for our review video, so buckle up. We're going to go ahead and get through the first one here pretty quickly. We are adding complex numbers, so remember you're going to add the complex parts and then add the imaginary parts. Negative 2 plus 7 is positive 5. 3 plus 9 is positive 12i, so the answer would be 5 plus 12i. When subtracting, even though you think you might want to put that minus in the middle, what you're actually going to do is you're going to put the minus between the real parts and the imaginary parts. So it'd be 6 minus 3, and put a plus in between when you're doing your math. And that will be negative 3 minus 4i. So 6 minus 3 here would be 3. Negative 3 minus 4 would be negative 7i. 3 minus 7i. Multiplying takes a bit more work, but we're just going to FOIL it the same way we would normally. So 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 5i would be 10i. Negative 5i times 4 would be negative 20i. Negative 5i times positive 5i will be negative 25i squared. First thing you want to do is put these like terms together right here. That would be 8 minus 10i minus 25i squared. Remember that I squared is just going to be negative 1, so it would be 8 minus 10i minus 25 times negative 1. The important part is replace that I squared, multiply that out. 8 minus 10i, negative 25 times negative 1 would be positive 25. And then you would combine these like terms here, which would give us 33 minus 10i. The division is a bit more complex, but remember the hardest part is the first part, which is remembering that you need to multiply by the conjugate of the denominator. So if this is 3 minus 7i, I need to multiply both the top and bottom by 3 plus 7i in order to rationalize this thing. 3 plus 7i. And then we're going to do distribution like we did up here, but for both of these. Okay, so 4 times 3 is 12. 4 times 7i will be plus 28i. I times 3 will be plus 3i. And then I times 7i will be plus 7i squared. We will deal with that momentarily. On the bottom, we get 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 7i would be plus 21i. Negative 7 times 3 will be negative 21i. And then negative 7 times positive 7i would be negative 49i squared. Now we need to go back and simplify some of these things. So if you want to take a look at it this way, these guys right here, these are like terms, these guys right here are like terms. We can simplify those first. Over here I'm going to have 12. 28 plus 3 will be plus 31i. And then I have 7i squared. Remember we just talked about up here that I squared is negative 1, so it'll be plus 7 times negative 1. On the bottom, my positive 21i and negative 21i cancel each other out, which leaves me with just 9 minus 49, and then we have the I squared there, would be times negative 1. And then we simplify here, 12 plus 31i, 7 times negative 1 will be negative 7. On the bottom, 9 minus 49 times negative 1, that'll be 9 plus 49. And then I'll put my answer up here. So 12 and negative 7, we can combine those two things. 12 minus 7 is 5 plus 31i. On the bottom, 9 plus 49 will be 58. That's my rational answer. The last part here is powers of I. We have I to the 6th. Remember, our pattern goes like this. This is I. This is negative 1. This is negative I. This is positive 1. So we are going to find our pattern here. Now I to the 6th is the same as I to the 4th, which is 1, times I squared, which is negative 1. So this value here, the second one is the one that tells you what your answer is going to be. So I squared, negative 1, my answer, negative 1. I to the power of 43, well, in order to find out what that is, it's a little bit trickier. We're going to take the 43 and divide it by 4. So that's going to be 1, 4, drop the 3. That doesn't go in. Remainder 3. This remainder tells us what we're looking at. So it's actually going to be I to the 4th times 10 times I to the 3rd. I to the 3rd is negative I, so my answer here will be negative I. Okay, and we will pause for the first page.